Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn at the press conference for Fight Camp Week 3 of 2021. How do you assess the whole thing as a concept this year? How's it gone?
It's gone really well, and particularly with fans. I mean, it's added another element of difficulty from a logistical point of view, but also it's been amazing to see people in. I mean, for the show, this turns into a little kind of almost like a mini nightclub. This room, you've got a DJ playing, you've got a bar. And it's been great to see fans back and just being around them. Like, there's nowhere to hide. So if I'm here, or if Dillian White's here like last week, or a load of Olympians coming on Saturday, like, they're here. So I think people have really enjoyed it. I think the cards have been great. Obviously disappointed to lose Ben Granados. I think we've got a really good card this Saturday, some of which fights that you might not expect to be as good as I believe they'll be. And of course, I think one of the fights of the whole series with Joshua Buatsi against Bolotniks. So it's been really good. It's been 3 fights, 3 shows in 3 weeks, which is quite unusual in a schedule, quite challenging as well. And after this, we have 2 weeks off actually before we go on I think it's an 11-week run of shows. So it's been great and nice to take care of the production on such a big scale like this. It's been quite testing for Matchroom Media. I think they've passed it with flying colours. And now we go into stadium shows and arena shows where just be a little bit different. So it's been a great experience, great team sort of bonding between the new production team and presenters and talent team. And I've really enjoyed it. And I think we'll get a cracker on Saturday.
You get your guitar at any point, did you?
No, I should have, really. But I think, I just love shows like that. And it's still, for us, like coming into the office on Monday morning and then you sort of open the door and see Fight Camp's still here. I wish we could just keep it here
year-round,
365, honestly, and just do shows every week at various different levels. But it's so nice to have the team here, on the ground. We all do a lot of travelling amongst ourselves. It's nice to just be located here and have this facility, which in time may become a permanent fixture. Maybe not here, but somewhere locally. You look at the UFC with their facility. They've got in the Apex a full-time arena there to stream events and stuff like that, and that's where I think we'll probably end up going.
It's the same with WWE, obviously, with the Performance Centre, which they used frequently during the pandemic. Buatsi, if he wins on Saturday without much contention, let's say, will this be his last fight before a world title shot?
It's probably how he wins, Danny, to be honest with you. I think I love this fight so much, and as my first question on the stage to Buatsi was, this is it. And I hope there'll be many more this is it moments in his career, but so far in his career, this is it. This is the toughest fight of his career by a mile. He's fighting someone who's incredibly game, incredibly fit, incredibly strong, full of confidence. But if he goes in there and does a job on Bolotniks, I think he should be fighting the likes of Dimitri Bivol next. Yes, there may be one more fight in between. If Bivol ends up fighting a Canelo or something like that, we don't know. But it's the manner in which he wins. And to be honest, I just want to see him win. But I think I've just got the feeling that he could look super special on Saturday night, and I think he is super special. And these are the kind of fights where you'll see that.
Now, he referenced up there about some of the Olympians from earlier cycles, the likes of Cal Yufai and Callum Smith, how quickly they won world titles. It seems to be a little bit slower with this crop, so him, Joe Cordina, Anthony Fowler, of course, had that defeat. Why do you think they've moved maybe a little bit slower than their predecessors?
I think we're a year behind because of the pandemic, really. I mean, I think that's taken 18 months out of a normal schedule. I think with Buatsi, to be honest, there have been occasions where he's not taken fights that maybe he should have taken. And Josh is a very smart guy as well. He doesn't want to go into a fight when he's not 100%, physically and had the best camp. But he also loves to book a holiday. And there were times early in his career where I would have said to him, you can go again in 5 weeks. I've got this, and and I feel like we're probably 2 or 3 fights behind where we should be. But he's also taken himself to America. He's with Virgil Hunter now, and he's right there. Do you know what I mean? So I think, in answer to your question, I think it's a normal cycle. I think maybe these guys, without the pandemic, might be a few months behind. But I said the same thing to Joe Cordina as well. These new crop coming up are all of a sudden going to be focus and almost like stars. So you have to do something now in your own right. You're no longer Joe Cordina, an Olympian from Rio. You're Joe Cordina, one of the best fighters in the world at 130 pounds. You're not Joshua Buatsi, the bronze medalist in Rio. That will always be a remarkable achievement. You're a world-class light heavyweight and you're about to become world champion. So that's the process. And obviously you've got the Olympians turning over, and that's where they should be. That cycle should be there now, ready to fight for world titles, and they are, quite frankly. But they've got to go out and do it now.
Now, on the subject of the new crop, you said to my colleague Joe Lee a couple of days ago that you want to sign all the GB Olympians, which is an admirable aim. Have you got any concerns about the move to the zone and away from Sky Sports affecting their desire to sign?
No, because I think the profile is much, much higher globally for these fighters on DAZN. I mean, we're already seeing our viewing figures from Fight Camp, comfortably beat our last Saturday night fight night show, which I think was in Newcastle. So I don't see any difference. Yes, sometimes you have to replace the Sky Sports news element, if you like, with a partnership with a linear broadcaster or the partnerships that we've got with a number of huge outlets, particularly Instagram and Facebook. You've seen the numbers, even on the stuff that I'm doing. You're seeing like the documentary stuff doing over 1 million views, which I can't deliver that kind of audience on a linear platform. So it's just a new way of developing content. I think that the only business, the only company, the only platform that can offer a global opportunity to these fighters is Matchroom and DAZN. Ultimately, Danny, quite frankly, it's going to mainly come down to money. Because I've already spoken to some, not fighters, but people who I know want to represent them and are trying to represent them. And, I think it was Ben Whittaker's Instagram last night. You want to sign Benzo? Show me the money with a Jeremy. Yeah. That's what everyone wants, the best deal. My advice to those guys is you can always get more money for the wrong deal. Do you know what I mean? So, and when I say I want to sign all of them, doesn't mean at any price. Doesn't mean all of I know in my head the fighters that I want to make a big play for, and that's what I'll be doing. But they'll be sitting down, they'll be talking to everybody. Everybody will be trying to sign. Great time for them. Wow. And some might stay. I saw Lauren Price's comments who said, I think quite like to do Paris. Everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have their different ambitions, different goals, different reasons. But ultimately, they should do whatever makes them happy.
I said to Lou DiBella, a bit of a name drop, but there we go. He's already got Jalalov under contract, so it's great for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to put him to a bidding war.
But Keyshawn Davis as well. I think with Keyshawn, for example, we've done 2 fights with him. What tremendous talent! I mean, kid's a superstar. But goes to the Olympics, gets massive exposure across America. In the silver medal. So comes out with more value than he did when he went in. Jalalov, exactly the same thing. So I think actually it's quite rewarding. And I saw some pros, by the way, who didn't medal, who tried. And I don't think anyone really notices, to be honest with you. But I think if you're a pro and you medal, like those guys, I think you come out in a much better position. So, I'm sure we'll speak to Lou about Jalalov because he's with World of Boxing and those guys. And Keyshawn as well, we'll make a play for to try and bring him to the team. I love him. I think he's a great kid and I think he's a tremendous fighter.
Now, you mentioned there about partnership potentially with a linear broadcaster. We were hearing a lot of rumours when DAZN first launched in the UK that you might do a deal with the BBC to do maybe a highlights package or something along those lines. What's the latest on that? Yeah,
I think that's very likely. I mean, we're in a number of conversations with a number of broadcasters. There's also a lot of other things happening in the landscape at the moment as well. So we've started that relationship with the BBC across the radio rights and Fight Week build-ups.
And the Canelo documentary.
Yes, of course. And we'll continue to explore highlights, new formats with the BBC as well. But the differences with DAZN is they're so forward-thinking in terms of their partnerships. Like, it's very difficult when you're with a broadcaster to do some kind of commercial partnership with another broadcaster to provide them with content. I mean, it's really unique. And that's really refreshing as well at the same time. So like you said, you saw the big Canelo documentary on BBC, other documentaries that we'll be making for our fighters, obviously the radio coverage on 5 Live, the Fight Week coverage in the build-up, but the opportunity, not just that, the deals with Instagram and Facebook to push content, other platforms, whether it's Sport Bible, whether it's joe.co.uk, these people are delivering huge numbers. And we live in a world now where you mustn't get caught up between thinking that a platform, this is the platform and it does. Just look at the numbers. The numbers will tell you everything you need to know. And the way that it's delivered. And I think those partnerships is underway with the BBC from a radio rights perspective. There's plenty more to come with that respect, and you'll see a lot of that around the Josh Warrington fight.
Now, I hear the Liverpool show recently announced
Really
he's
good,
selling incredibly well.
Yeah, I said to you before, we've sold out the Fight Pass allocation, which is very unusual outside of an AJ fight. The fighters have ordered 6,000 tickets. It holds 9,000, and we couldn't, because of your deal with the venue, you have to put so many on sale through the venue.
Who's ordered the most?
Fowler and Smith actually ordered the same amount. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And we couldn't deliver them all the tickets. This will sell out tomorrow's general sale, of which I knew it would, but as I said to you, we could have sold out Manchester Arena. Wrong place for the fight.
Sure.
But it just shows you the demand. This is great news for the show, but it's also great news for boxing, that people want to come back and there's an appetite to return to live events when you get it right. And one thing I found, the one thing with fight fans is they love to moan. Love to moan.
I think that's just fans generally.
No, more so with fight fans. I mean, you see it, you really do see it more. But the one thing I will say is when you get it right, they will at least accept that you've got it right. So when you do a show like Smith Fowler, and even the accounts that troll you all day go, fair play, that's a quality card, actually makes me feel great. Won't lie, you know. Yeah, ego, whatever, call it what you want. It makes me feel great, and I want to do more of that. So that is just the beginning, that card. There's going to be much better cards, trust me, than Smith Fowler landing on DAZN. But that's a good example of one that's, you know, is going to really set the standard.
Any more news on the AJ Usyk undercard?
Yeah, we hope to announce tomorrow or the weekend. I mean, I've virtually not very good at not giving stuff away. You've got a Coley defending his world championship. Looks like Callum Smith will make his first fight at £175. Looking to do Marku against Prodan as well. Another one of AJ's American fighters in a good fight. Campbell Hatton could be on that card with 258, and one other fight as well. So virtually finalised now and get it announced. Sometimes, because we're so big now, I go, right, let's get this out, and they tell me, no, we've got a schedule of stuff going out today. I mean, that's never used to be like that. We just used to stick it out. Now they tell me the right times to put things out, and I feel like an old man sometimes. You know, no, Eddie, you know, this Instagram stuff that I'm working with them. You know, could you put this out at 9:15, please? Why not? You know, because no, that's your optimum time.
As opposed to 9:20.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So yeah.
Just before I let you go, and I'm not the first person to ask you about this today, but it has got tongues wagging. David Haye making a comeback against his best friend. What would you make of it?
I think you have to give unbelievable credit to David and Joe Fournier, because how they've managed to get money out of that is unbelievable. David is a genius at, you know, somehow getting people to pay for things.
Legalised robbery, as Floyd Mayweather called his fight with McGregor.
Yeah, but look, they're best mates.
Logan Paul.
Best mates. Yeah. No, listen, it is what it is, isn't it? I mean, that is so bizarre that night that, you know, what else could possibly surprise you? So I think, you know, like Joe and Dave, I mean, brilliant. Like how they've managed to convince someone to pay for that is just on another level. And they're both very good at that. So good luck. May the best man win.
Will you watch it?
No, but I will. Listen, I'm sure when I wake up in the morning, I'll have a look at who's won. Oh, it won't be who's won. I mean, but
how they won.
Yeah, or what happened. I don't know. Listen, it is what it is. It's not boxing. It's just a bit of fun. And you know, good luck to it.
Brilliant, Eddie. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.